From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, June 16th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,311 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $735. Antiwar.com reports in a surprise move, one of the major contributors to the Saudi invasion of Yemen, the United Arab Emirates, has announced it is withdrawing entirely from the conflict, with Foreign Minister Anwar Gargash declaring the war is over for our troops. Gargash suggested UAE troops might remain for monitoring political arrangements, and it was speculated that the fighting against al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which is largely led by the UAE, and a separate war from the one against the Shiite Houthis, will continue. The UAE had been a major contributor of ground troops to the Saudi war, which has lasted far longer than anyone expected. They had contributed not just members of their military, but fighters from their paramilitary of mostly South American mercenaries. Yemeni officials downplayed the announcement, saying Emirati forces are still guarding the airport and presidential palace. Saudi officials refused to comment on the matter at all. For nearly 40 years, Robertson Roberts brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports President Barack Obama held a private meeting at the White House Wednesday with the Dalai Lama, a move that angered Chinese officials who contend the Tibetan spiritual leader is leading a separatist movement. Neither the White House nor the Dalai Lama discussed details of the meeting, although the White House did disclose that President Obama encouraged a dialogue with the Chinese. The Dalai Lama also expressed his condolences for Sunday's attack in Orlando after the meeting. Like the previous 3 meetings Obama has held with the Dalai Lama, the Chinese government voiced its dismay. Lu Kang, spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said if the United States plans this meeting, it will send the wrong signal to Tibet independence and separatist forces and harm China-U.S. mutual trust and cooperation. White House Press Secretary Joshua Earnest dismissed the idea, saying the United States has not articulated our support for Tibetan independence. Earnest added both the Dalai Lama and President Obama value the importance of a constructive, productive relationship between the United States and China. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page testified in a copyright infringement trial on Wednesday that he did not recall hearing until recently the song containing a musical riff his band is accused of stealing for its 1971 hit, Stairway to Heaven. Page, who is 72, took the witness stand on the second day of the trial in federal court in Los Angeles, where the British band is accused of lifting the opening chords for Stairway to Heaven from American band Spirit's 1967 instrumental song, Taurus. The lawsuit has called into question the originality of Led Zeppelin's signature song and one of the most widely heard compositions in rock history. Page said he owned the Spirit's self-titled 1968 album that includes Taurus, which contains a descending chromatic 4-chord progression that is the center of the lawsuit. But Page said the album was one of over 9,000 albums in his music collection and that he did not know when it made its way into his library. Page added, "I don't think I have listened to the first album." The civil action was brought by Michael Skidmore, a trustee for the late Randy Wolf, Spirit's guitarist and composer of Taurus. Wolf died in 1997. Skidmore's complaint seeks to have Wolf's name added to the writing credits for Stairway to Heaven and damages in an amount to be proven at trial. Page testified that he liked Spirit and had heard a few of the band's songs on the radio in the 1960s, but not Taurus. Page said he listened to Taurus for the first time only after he was made aware of comparisons made on the internet between Stairway to Heaven and Taurus in recent years. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.